You are watching Echo Family. This story begins with a request to co-sign that didn't go the way anyone expected.
My name is Mia. I'm 32. And last month my father threw scalding hot coffee at my chest because I said no. No, I wouldn't co-sign a car loan for my unemployed brother-in-law. No, I wouldn't keep pretending I owed them my bank account just to earn a seat at the dinner table. And no, I wouldn't apologize for finally standing up. But the burn on my chest wasn't the worst part. It was the silence that came after. The way my sister just stood there, arms folded, like I'd asked for it, like I deserved it. They didn't call to check on me. They didn't say sorry. Instead, they posted a video of me crying in a bathroom stall, captioned "Drama Queen," and sent it to our family group chat. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about one cup of coffee. This was about every debt they claimed I owed. Every time they mistook my silence for submission. And what they never saw coming was that the house they lived in, the roof over their heads, it already had my name on the deed. So when the quiet daughter stops being quiet, what happens then? Do they scream louder or finally hear her voice? Because what came next made them wish they'd just accepted the no. The message came during lunch. A simple text from my sister Vera. "Hey, Ransom's trying to get approved for a car loan, but he needs a co-signer. Can you help us out? It's urgent." No please, no sorry to ask, just assumed access. That was always the dynamic. I was the youngest, the fixer, the fallback plan. My time, my money, my boundaries, they were never mine. I was supposed to be grateful for the scraps of love they offered in exchange for complete obedience. I used to help willingly. I paid their bills when Vera was pregnant the first time. Let Ransom crash on my couch when he was between jobs. But it never stopped. Once became always. Charity became expectation. That night, they asked me to dinner. I knew what talk meant. I still went. Hope is a stupid thing like that. It doesn't leave easily. Dad brought up my work bonus before we finished grace. Vera smiled like a snake in Sunday clothes. And when I said no, quietly but firmly, everything cracked. "You've changed," Vera whispered. "You're selfish," Dad growled. "Don't forget who gave you everything." They acted like I was the problem, like refusing to sign a loan was betrayal. I left before dessert. No shouting, no tears. But my silence, it spoke louder than any scream. And it didn't end there. The next morning, I came back hoping to talk, maybe salvage something. Instead, my father stood in the living room like a judge, cold and coiled. When I told him again that I wouldn't co-sign, he snapped, grabbed a mug of fresh coffee and hurled it at my chest. The burns sizzled through my sweatshirt. The mug shattered at my feet. And Vera? She didn't move, just stood in the hallway and watched. But what she said next, that was the real scar. I shut the bathroom door gently behind me. My hands were shaking, my sweatshirt soaked, sticking to blistering skin. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stood there, pressing a damp towel to the burn, trying to quiet the thunder in my chest. Outside, I heard Vera on the phone. "She provoked him," she said flatly. She just kept pushing. Not Dad lost control. Not he hurt her. Just blame, redirected with surgical precision. She knocked on the door a few minutes later. Whispered, "He did worse to me once. You'll get over it." And that's when the quiet inside me snapped. This wasn't protection. This was tradition. Abuse handed down like heirlooms, sewn into the seams of every family dinner and masked as loyalty. I walked out, past her, past the hallway table where my keys still waited. No one stopped me. At home, I stood in front of the mirror and stared at the burn. It was red, angry, but not as angry as I felt. Not as angry as I had tried so long to suppress. I remembered a different burn, when I was 12 and fell at school. The nurse called home and Dad showed up fuming. The hospital asked for insurance. "She's not on the plan," they said. His reply? "We cut extras. Guess her mother forgot." Extras. That was what I'd always been. Not a daughter. A line item. 6 months ago, I'd stopped by their house to drop off a baby gift. On a whim, I'd gone upstairs. My old bedroom was gone. Walls beige, trophies trashed, diploma replaced with Vera's wedding portrait. I had been erased. But they forgot one thing. While they rewrote the past, I had quietly rewritten the future. 2 years ago, when the house was at risk of foreclosure, I bought it, quietly, legally, through a real estate LLC. Let them stay. Kept the rent low. Not out of kindness, out of strategy. And now, with the burns still fresh and my silence officially expired, I opened that file. The deed. My name. Mia Elaine Hart. Managing member. They always said I owed them everything. But it turns out, they owed me rent. And the moment I picked up that folder, I knew what I had to do next. The next morning, I skipped the coffee. I didn't need caffeine, I needed clarity. By 8:05 a.m., I was in the county courthouse parking lot, folder in hand. The deed. The lease. Every document they never imagined I had. I'm filing a lease violation through my LLC, I told the clerk. They've been in breach. It's time. The woman didn't blink. She scanned the papers, printed the receipt. Eviction notice will be served within 48 hours. I paid the fee, walked out into sunlight, and felt something shift inside me. Not rage, not relief. Precision. By 9:30, I was at Doug's office, my property manager. We've kept them on month to month since last renewal, he said, flipping through the file. Time's up, I replied. 30 days, no extensions. Doug raised an eyebrow. You ready for the fallout? I didn't hesitate. They threw boiling coffee at me, Doug. I'm done waiting for them to cool off. That afternoon, I drove past the house. My house. I didn't stop. Didn't get out. Just watched it from a distance. Like you'd watch something you used to love but no longer belonged to. Inside, they still had no idea. No clue that the girl they once dismissed as unstable held the legal power to change everything. By the time I got home, the decision had calcified. No turning back. I pulled out the eviction notice template, filled in the names, Clive and Vera Hart, and printed the document. The paper slid out warm, steady, final. That evening, Vera posted a picture on Facebook. Me, kneeling at a food drive, handing out bags. I'd asked her to take that photo. She'd posted it with the caption, "Proud to serve, we protect our own." The likes poured in. So did the praise. None of it mentioned me. I hovered over the keyboard. Typed. You used me for credit. You used me for silence. You won't use me for praise. Then deleted it. Instead, I sent her a private message. You've mistaken my quiet for weakness. You won't make that mistake again. She replied in 2 minutes. Chill, it's just a photo. You're overreacting again. Again, that word. They wanted me to think my reactions were the problem. Not their betrayals. Not the manipulation. Not the pain. I didn't reply. I sent a message to my attorney. Move the timeline up, no more delays. She responded instantly. We'll serve them tomorrow. No courtesy calls. And as I folded the notice, pinning it next to Vera's fake post on my vision board, I smiled. Not with malice, but with certainty. Because in 24 hours, the house of cards was going to fall. Tuesday morning, I barely slept. But I didn't feel tired. What kept me awake wasn't anxiety. It was readiness. At 8 a.m. sharp, the legal courier rang my doorbell. You want this served directly? He asked, sliding the envelope into his bag. To Clive Hart, I said. No one else. He nodded. You'll get confirmation by end of day. By 4:43 p.m., the message came through, notice served. 15 minutes later, voicemail. My father's voice snarling through the phone. You ungrateful brat. We took you in when no one else would. That house isn't yours. It's ours. Always will be. I didn't finish listening. That wasn't a plea. That was ego bleeding out. I blocked the number and stared out my window, the sun setting over my new apartment. And then, the internet attack came. A video. 38 seconds. Me, crying in a bathroom stall. Someone had filmed me through the crack of the door, years ago. Posted with the caption, "Toxic people always make it about them." It had already been shared in the family group chat. Eye roll emojis. Comments like, "She always ruins everything." I stared at the screen, numb. They weren't even hiding it anymore. This wasn't just denial. This was character assassination. Then, a surprise. A text from Opal, my cousin. I saw the video. That was awful. I know that's not what happened. I typed back. Thank you, but I'm okay. Was it true? I wasn't sure, but I needed it to be. That night, I emailed Joanne. Subject line, accelerate timeline. I included screenshots, messages, the video link. This is digital harassment. If needed, I'll also pursue a restraining order. Joanne replied in under 10 minutes. Understood. I'll serve them directly by end of day tomorrow. The next morning, silence. Until a screenshot from my cousin Danny. A message from Vera in the family group chat. Please be careful around Mia. She's emotionally unstable and unpredictable. I'm genuinely worried. There it was. Their final weapon, doubt. Make me the crazy one. Again. But this time, I came prepared. I called Joanne again. This isn't just eviction, I said. This is defamation. And I want it on record. Then Julian called. The ex I hadn't spoken to in years. We met. He told me the truth. Ransom had used my name to scam him. Vera had lied to destroy what little we had. And the worst part? He believed her. But he apologized. I didn't forgive him. But I thanked him for confirming what I already knew. And that night, I made it official. One message. One sentence. Your 10-day window is now 3. No punctuation. No signature. Just the kind of silence that speaks loudest. And on the 3rd day, the packing began. 1 week later, I stood in my new kitchen. Barefoot. Cold tile under my feet. No yelling. No tension. Just the quiet hum of peace. The rental wasn't fancy. 2 bedrooms, slightly crooked floors, lavender sprouting wildly in the front yard. But it was mine. Every inch of it untouched by guilt, silence, or expectations. On the windowsill, I placed a cracked ceramic cup. Not the one that left the scar, but one with its own imperfect history. It reminded me healing doesn't require perfection, just space. That afternoon, an email arrived from Opal. No greeting, just truth. Mia, I'm sorry for what they did. I see you now. I love you. Even if they never say it, I will. I cried, not from pain, but from the sheer weight of being seen. Later, I walked past the house I once called home. It stood empty now. A for sale sign in the yard. Vera's social media was gone. Clive was renting a 1-bedroom above a nail salon, just blocks from where he used to preach about responsibility. There were no lawsuits, no drama, just silence. And that was enough. At home, I pinned one last drawing from Opal near the door. A crooked sun. 2 stick figures. And the words, "We don't live in fear anymore. Not everything broken can be rebuilt. But not everything needs to be. Sometimes walking away isn't weakness, it's wisdom." Mia didn't burn bridges. She simply stopped lighting them for people who never learned how to say thank you. So if your family keeps crossing your boundaries, ask yourself this: do they love you? Or do they just love your silence? Let us know in the comments. And if Mia's story gave you strength, subscribe for more true stories of healing, justice, and quiet power.